to Manchester United as Michael Carrick embarks on his first full season in charge.
Glory, glory, Man United!
I think Michael's himself's done a tremendous job. I don't think anyone going in there thought he'd do the job that he'd done.
We want to get that feeling back at Man United that we are a great team. It's not about individuals, and I think that's what we want. We want that spirit back, and I think Michael Carrick brought that.
I think when you have that calmness on the pitch, that smartness, and the way he was playing and everything, you could see that could be a potential manager, and then he's showing that.
Michael Carrick is an excellent manager if you look at what he's done so far.
Tielemans with a powering header.
With the Yuri Tielemans signing, I think that's a very tactile signing.
Yuri Tielemans is a signing in the summer.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Manchester United. What sort of season? By the way, there's a great book out. It's just about to come out. Andy Mitten. We've spoken to Andy a few times, journalist, big Man United fan, about United's best 100 players of all time. Ooh. It is impossible.
Oh, absolutely.
It is impossible to try and pick. You know, who would be? Different eras. Well, you obviously got Best Charlton, haven't you? Dennis Law have got to be up there. But for instance, Keane or Brian Robson.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's so many.
He was my idol, Brian Robson.
Yeah. Oh,
what a player.
Well, Rob he's talking soon in London. I'm going to go.
Oh, what a player. Fantastic. But when you talk about midfielders, box to box, he had everything, didn't he?
Yeah. Brave as a lion.
Yeah,
absolutely. No, he did have him. You're right, and a great guy as well. So what about Michael Carrick? He turned United around last term, stealing them straight back into the Champions League. Now they've backed him in the market. Some people were still, we need bigger name. I'm not enough. For me, he'd done enough to get a good chance.
Absolutely.
Really. Yeah. So he brought in Chelsea's Santos and Gabby's favourite, Tielemans from the Villa. Ray, how do you think Manchester United, is there more signings to come? I fancy United have a big year.
I think they're going to have a good seat. I think, as I said before, Al, I think it's going to be a brilliant season this year for a lot of clubs. I mean, it's a little bit unknown how Chelsea are going to do, how Liverpool with new managers and all that sort of stuff. That's why it's going to be really intriguing to see what happens. But I think Manchester United, I think they've certainly got to give Michael Carrick a go.
Yeah.
With what he'd done at the end of the season. He went back to basics, didn't he? He just tweaked a few little things and suddenly they start getting results. And they got to play to their strength. So I think they'll have a decent season, United. The way they finished, to come Champions League football, which is so important for a lot of clubs, they're back into that. So, I'm pretty optimistic about Manchester United. I'm sure the fans are really looking forward to it as well, the season. So,
Liverpool, Ray, just on to Liverpool a little bit. I think Liverpool will improve, I really do.
Yeah, well, if they can get Barcola, who's the top player.
At the back, centre-backs, have they got enough there?
You look at Van Dijk, he's still
getting on.
Yeah, of course he's getting on, but he still can do an excellent job, can't he? He can read the game. As you get older, you can read the game better. But Liverpool, again, new manager coming in. Will he start on the front foot? I'm sure he will. What he done at Bournemouth was unbelievable, wasn't it? So it's just that next level. Well, not next level. It's about 3 levels up from Bournemouth. Not disrespecting Bournemouth, who are a fantastic club. But Liverpool, you're talking about, the high end, Champions League football, and it'd be a situation where can he step up to deliver for Liverpool like he did Bournemouth, which he certainly did at Bournemouth. But if he does, then I'm sure the Liverpool fans will be absolutely delighted. But as I said before, Chelsea for me is the one. They've brought in a bit of experience now. They've got good players there. Can Alonso get the best out of Chelsea?
It's a strange one, wasn't it? The type of players Chelsea have bought in the past, and then they get Henderson.
Totally opposite.
Don't get me wrong; these guys, I know they're long in the tooth now, but great experience in the dressing room.
I think the dressing room area is so important.
Danny's still scoring goals.
You know what it's like. You're with each other every single day. You have to demand of each other to say, come on, you can't just, I ain't going to turn up this week, or I'm not going to train as hard as. And I think they'll be drumming it into, especially the young players, saying, look, you've got to be professional every single day. You've got to come to training, try and improve as a team and as an individual. So I think that's what they bring to the dressing room. Danny Welbeck's been there and done it. He's played for some of the biggest clubs ever, hasn't he? Man United, Arsenal, and now he's at Chelsea, which he's had an unbelievable career. And Jordan Henderson, coming from Liverpool, he's been there.
He's manager.
He's won trophies, of course. So I think they've gone down the other route now to say, well, we have got good young players, but maybe these two can really get the dressing room going again and show what you've got to do to be a top-level player.
Back to Man United. For more on United, I'm delighted to say join us now, former Premier League winning Manchester United goalkeeper, Aussie legend Mark Bosnich. Bozzy, morning, Bozzy.
Morning, Bozzy.
Good morning to you, Alan. Good morning to you, Ray. And Alan, just to say welcome back as well. We're delighted for you. Got many fans down here. We're all concerned, so well done. Welcome back.
Bozzy, thank you very much. I appreciate it. How are you? You doing well? You enjoyed the World Cup?
I enjoyed the World Cup in terms of the football, but as pretty much everyone, and obviously there were a few situations which left a bad taste in the mouth, which are being exacerbated, but we'll leave that for the footballing politicians. But the actual play, overall, I enjoyed it. It was very disappointing. I was disappointed in England. They got themselves in such a good position.
What a chance,
to do what they did. Yeah, what a great chance that they had. But that's the time for another show. But that was very disappointing. Other than that, the best team won by far. Would have been a travesty had they not won that final. And congratulations to them.
Bozzy, you must be looking forward to the Premier League this year. It's going to be really interesting with new managers in top clubs, and can Arsenal do what they did last season? And Spurs have bought some great players as well coming into their club. So it's going to be really interesting, Bozzy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the most open title race I can remember in quite some time. Like you mentioned, this is the most change of managers we're going to have at the start of Premier League season for nearly 10 years, 9. It's a record. It's going to be very interesting to see how they all do at their prospective clubs. They've all got different expectations, obviously. And, there was 164 players, nearly, 63 more than the closest of Premier League players represented at the World Cup, like you said. And coming back to what you said originally about Arsenal, that's going to be very interesting because I thought last season, towards the end of the season, Ray, I don't know what you thought. You obviously, with your Arsenal background, that they went a little bit defensive towards the end. I thought that was more of the fact that they were trying to win that title for the first time in 22 years. Yeah. And will they sort of resort to that, or will they be a little bit more freer? Because I think when they play free-flowing football, they're as good a team as any in Europe. And that'll be a very interesting thing. Because, sometimes when you win a title for the first time in such a long time, it kind of releases you a little bit.
Yeah. Bozzy, what about 2-year-old clubs, Manchester United and the Villa? Big change there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, very big change. I was a little bit surprised, with Aston Villa letting Morgan Rogers and Tielemans go. I thought they were two crucial players. Obviously, Manzambi's come in from Freiburg, but he's never played in the Premier League before. And we all know, without going into detail, about the financial rules, so God knows what's going on behind the scenes. In terms of Manchester United, so far so good in terms of what they've signed. I mean, Michael Carrick's had time to assess all the players, and he had a wonderful time when he came in from January. So there's still a long time to go, as we know. I mean, things could change in a day in football in terms of transfers and people coming in. But it's going to be very interesting to see because both those sides, unlike Chelsea, will have European football and more importantly, Champions League football to deal with. And as we know, you have to have squad depth if you're going to do well in those competitions along with the Premier League.
Yeah, brilliant. Bozzy, look, I won't keep you, mate. Great to talk again. We'll speak soon and enjoy yourself over there. Beautiful. You'll be getting
Cheers, Bozzy.
It's winter time over there, isn't it?
Thanks, lad.
Bozzy, thank you. Yeah, I think it's our summer's there, winter.
It's going into
spring. Or spring.
Yeah, it's going into
great country.
Place,
if you've not been there, it's a great country.
Yeah, I went there in 2018 now, Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney or Melbourne, both is beautiful.
Amazing. It was the winter, but the beautiful 17 degrees, blue skies.
Food's good, the people are nice.
Lovely. It's just a long way away, isn't it? So,
well, it's getting better.
23 hours, isn't it?
No, you can get there now.
Is it a lot quicker?
Yeah, a lot quicker.
We didn't get off the plane either when I went.
Yeah.
So we sat in Dubai, and then Arsene Wenger got off, and then he had a picture done with all the Emirates guys and whatever, and then they refueled and jumped back on, and off we went again.
All right.
That was brilliant.
Former United Premier League winning goalkeeper Mark Bosnich there.